Hello, good day to you. It's GotAUkulele review day. As always, this is the summary video review. Linked below is the detailed review on the website where you'll get more information. Also a link down there to the Patreon, which is the place that you can donate to, which helps keep GotAUkulele going, or you just want to say thank you. That would be appreciated. Okay, it's the first one for this brand on the website. Don't really know why, because they've been around for a while. The company is called Lag Guitars. French company that make value instruments in the Far East, guitars and ukuleles. They're not a new kid on the block to the ukulele world. In fact, I saw my first Lag ukulele before the GotAUkulele website even started, so over 10 years ago. So they've been around a while. Their current range is quite small, mainly, well, they're all value instruments, but mainly laminate instruments in various scales. They do a solid wood one at the top end, or a solid top rather. This one is just one above from the entry level. This is the Lag Tiki TKU10S Soprano. Sorry about the light again, really grey outside. Standard looking soprano, the TKU10S Tiki. Yeah, standard double bout soprano made of all laminate sapele wood, which is a kind of relative or very similar to mahogany, but it's laminate wood anyway. It looks like single piece on the top, single piece on the back, and two pieces on the sides. You know what, it's put together pretty well actually for a laminate instrument. It's tidy, no gaps in the joints. It's finished in what they call a French satin. No, it's not, it's just Chinese factory satin. It's the same as any other satin. But that's an open pore satin, and it's quite nice, it's alright. The bridge is walnut, I believe. Nice shape there, screwed in place, fitted with a straight top Graphtec saddle, which is nice to see. No real complaints about that, quite like it. And like all Lag instruments, they share this same elongated sound hole rosette. That's a transfer sticker type thing. It's not really for me. I prefer inlays, but there's your little Tiki logo on it. There we are. There's no other decoration, no binding or inlays or anything like that. I say there's no other decoration, and then you turn it over. Sweet mother of... Now, there's your Tiki, and as you can probably see in this light, that isn't a transfer or a screen print, and certainly not an inlay. It's a decal. So those black pieces are held on a clear web, and when you catch the light with it, they go opaque. It looks absolutely awful. If you ever made, it's actually peeling off in places as well. I really don't like this at all. There's bubbles in it because they didn't put it under the satin, which I don't get. Now, if you ever made model aircraft or trains or things like that when you were young, you'll know what those decals are like. The water slide decals, they're not very good. They get this sort of silvery shimmery edge. Why put that on? That absolutely ruins it for me. I know things like this are subjective, but if you're going to do it, don't do it so big, and don't do it so cheaply, tackily. You know, do a nice screen print on there and put it underneath the satin. The more I look at this, the more I just think it's absolutely hideous. I can't really show you in this light. Honestly, trust me, it is woeful. There we are. Pictures on the website showing inside. It's pretty scruffy, actually. Notch linings, the bracing is thin enough, but it's quite sort of untidy. What it does show me is the top is nice and thin for a laminate, so there's nice and resonant. That's good news. The neck, which I think is also sapele, obvious joints here at the heel, one at the headstock. Horrible sort of sharp, exaggerated shape heel that's actually really uncomfortable to hold. It hurts my hand. Don't like that at all. Don't like the profile either, which is really round. It's like a broom handle, and it's a very generic. You see what I've forgotten what the measurements are. It's 34mm at the nut, and what's that? Let me just check the measurements. 26 from G to A, which is too narrow for me. Too narrow by far. It's topped with a walnut fingerboard, bit of end shaping down there to match the headstock shape. quite like that. Standard soprano, 12 frets to the body. They're dressed okay, nice and tidy. The fingerboard edges are actually slightly rolled, which is unusual and a nice thing to see, but it doesn't offset the lack of comfort from the really narrow nut and round profile on the back, so you can't have everything. Dot markers at 5, 7 and 10, no side markers. Come on. Graphtec nut, I like the lag headstock. This differs from the entry level in that it's faced in this dark wood, maybe it's walnut or ebony, I don't know. The lag logo is inlaid in pearl. I like the look of it, nice headstock. The tuners also differ from the entry level because these are sealed black gears. Yes, it's a soprano. Yes, I'd prefer rear-facing tuners, but they're not bad ones, I suppose. I've seen much worse. You also get Aquila strings. You get a functional padded gig bag with the lag logo embroidered on it, and they're about street price, 80 quid, which on the face of it you go, that's a good price. And you know what, it is a good price for a soprano. However, that's a really congested price point. There's so much out there under 100 quid in the laminate sopranos, so it's got a lot to compete with, and it's trying to compete by doing that and an uncomfortable neck. You know, you've really got to stand out at that price, and I don't want to go on about that too much. I mean, that does rule it out for me, but even if we ignore that, we've got to play it. The setup on this one arrived a little bit too high, but that's adjustable. It's fairly hefty to hold. It's not as light as you think it should be. Not overly heavy, but just a bit of heft to it. It's balanced at the 12th, but it's got that weird thing that I see with some where it's trying to fall backwards this way. I really hate that. So you hold it and balance it, and it's toppling back towards me. So you're kind of fighting with it. It's really odd. I don't like that at all. But as I say, generally speaking, the build is pretty decent. The sound, it's going out of tune like hell. So for those people who think that I deliberately don't tune them, sorry, I've got to go through the tuning. So this is a strobe tuner, so it's absolutely accurate, far more accurate than a snark. The volume is alright, not earth-shattering. Sustain, alright, not earth-shattering. And the tone is, you know what I'm going to say. It's alright, but not earth-shattering. Generic, kind of jangly. I hate the nut. Find it hard to play. Now, that's interesting, because we are absolutely bang on in tune with their strobe. That's intonation problem. That's because the nut is too high. You notice it's going very slightly out. Okay, that can be fixed with the setup. I'm not going to major on that. But very thin, plinky, generic, boxy sound. You'd hardly call it pretty. Ignore the notes there, that's intonation. I'd need to adjust the nut to stop it doing that. But it's still very uninspiring. Look, it works as a ukulele, it functions as a ukulele. It's pretty well made, actually. I hate that. I hate the nut width. I hate the roundness of the neck. But everything else is alright, and it's an alright price. But there's the problem, really. There's lots of alright price instruments around that do this. Look at a Carla KA15S, KAS, something like that. Much better bet. Probably save a bit of money on 80 quid as well. It will sound better, it'll play better. So for that reason, it can't get a recommendation from me, because I think it's in the wrong place. It doesn't stand up to the competition, I'm afraid. The lag guitars, Tiki TKU10S Soprano, all laminate, Sapele. No. Back next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you. Take care. Bye-bye.